Hello, Excellians. It is Miss Jessie back again. Well, welcome to our four-part video series on comparatives and superlatives, Excellians. In this video, we will learn about comparative adjectives. Adjectives have what are called degrees, and there are 3 of them: positive, comparative, and superlative. The positive degree is used when there is no comparison being made. For example, the funny comedian made the audience laugh, or the flower gardens are vibrant this year. We use the positive form of the adjectives funny and vibrant in these sentences because we are not speaking of the comedian or the flower gardens in reference to anything else. However, the comparative form is used for exactly what it sounds like, to compare. But be careful, these adjectives are used to compare only 2 things. When using an adjective in its comparative form, you have to change it in one of 4 ways. Add ER to the end of the adjective, or use the word more before the adjective, or use the word less before the adjective, or change the adjective entirely. The first 2 changes, adding ER to the adjective or using more with the adjective, are both comparatives of superiority. This means that they show that something is better than or superior to something else. Let's see how this works. The comedian I saw last night was funnier than the one who's performing tonight. Notice that we added the suffix ER to the funny and that we changed the Y to an I to create the comparative form. It's a lot easier than it looks, I promise. This comparative of superiority states that the previous comedian was superior to the current comedian. Now, let's see how it works when we have to add in the word more to create the comparative form. These flower gardens are more vibrant than those. In this comparative of superiority, we see that the 2 flower gardens are being compared, and one is superior in its vibrancy than the other. Here, you can tell that we need to use the more form of the comparative because you probably realize that the word vibranter sounds a little strange. It's not a word. Sometimes it's difficult to tell which adjectives take more and which have an ER added, but you'll learn that with practice. Here are a few of each. The positive form of pleasant, the comparative form is more pleasant. The positive form is unfortunate, the comparative form more unfortunate. The positive form hungry, and the comparative form hungrier. Now, let's take a look at comparatives of inferiority. These adjectives are still comparing 2 things only, but they suggest that one thing is worse than or inferior to the other. Comparatives of inferiority never add the ER suffix. Instead, they always use the word less before the adjective. Let's see how they look. Schoolwork was less difficult for Sally after she began taking tutoring classes at Excel Academy. Notice here that we did not specify exactly which 2 things are being compared, but we can figure out pretty easily. The schoolwork now is less difficult than the schoolwork she did before her tutoring sessions. Let's see another. Dave was less careful than he should have been when walking through the snow, so the slip on the ice was inevitable. That sounds painful. Now let's take a look at adjectives that change completely when in their comparative forms. These can be comparatives of either superiority or inferiority. Though Anna was a good musician, Mary was better. The positive adjective good is a special type of adjective because it doesn't follow either of the other rules. We do not say gooder or more good. Instead, we use an entirely different word, though it does have an ER on the end. Here's another example. Anna's meal was pretty bad, but Mary's was even worse. Just as before, we know that we do not say badder or more bad. Also notice that this sentence doesn't explicitly state what was worse, but we know from the context that it was Mary's meal. If you want to test your knowledge of comparative adjectives, try to fill in the blank with me with the correct answer choice in the following sentences. Snickers, my little brown dog is blank than my sleepy cat. It's either A, playfuler, B, more playful, C, less playfuler, or D, playful? All right, any guesses? No? Well, if you guessed B, more playful, you'd be correct. Now let's get on to the next one. This movie is much blank than I remember. It's either A, worst, B, badder, C, best, or D, worse. Oh, I know you know it. Well, if you guessed D, worse, you are correct. And that is it for today, Excellians. Be sure to tune back in for part 2 of this amazing series. Until next time.